Hi, I'm Tinker Hatfield, Vice President of Design and Special Projects at Nike, and I also do a little brand Jordan stuff now and then.
I'm Luedecke, Senior Footwear Designer in the Jordan brand, working with Tinker on projects like this that are special.
You could call him a protege, but actually he's gotten way better than me, so I can't even say that anymore. It's a big problem, really. But anyway, we worked together on the Jordan, the new Jordan shoes, the 2012 shoe, and it's been a fun project because it really is a nice blending together of new technology, new performance, and also a nice design story that influenced the style. I'll talk a little bit about that first, and then let Tom talk a little bit about the performance. Stylistically, the shoe is inspired by looking at saddle shoes and wingtips, especially shoes from the 1920s and 30s that might have popped up in some of the cool parts of our major cities around the country, like Harlem. In Portland it was Jumptown, and there were a few other places in major cities around the country where people would really dress up, and really some new styles would emerge from those interesting entertainment districts. So, you know, like wingtips weren't just wingtips, they were shoes with bright colors and contrasting pieces and parts. Saddle shoes might have been where the shoe was one color and the saddle was another, and it was all meant to go with the more outlandish suits that were being developed, which were called suits in those days. So, so if you look at this shoe and if you think about it, or if you understand, you know, what a wingtip really looks like, you can sort of see the influence in the front of this shoe. If you know about saddle shoes, especially dress shoes or dance shoes, you know, this saddle piece is meant to evoke that. And so when you put it all together, the big trick was to continue on with this performance design, make this the best basketball shoe in the world for really serious basketball players, but also to add in this influence from these special entertainment districts from around the United States in those years in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. So, you want to talk a little bit about performance?
Sure. So when we started out, the challenge from Tinker to the team was really to elevate the modularity that we had already started in the 2011 and take it to the next level. And so we looked at, can we replace the lining package or the booty and interchange it with a low top to a high top and give the consumer or the athlete even more choice? And then even to go one step further, instead of 2 midsoles, have 3 midsoles to interchange, so you get very distinct performance features or benefits out of those choices. So you have 6 choices instead of 2 on this product compared to the 2011. Also, we chose a lot more high-grade materials, including a very proprietary new plate weave, carbon, true carbon, that we call flight carbon. We looked at new skin flywire panels. We looked at some very high-end meshes on the booties that allow us to keep the shoe very sleek and beautiful. And we looked at very high-end leathers that allowed us to go very, very thin and sleek, just like a dress shoe would, with a high degree of craftsmanship. And the idea of removing the booty and being able to replace midsoles really lets the consumer decide, lets the athlete decide what they need at what part of the game or what part of the training segment they're in or the game they're in, and have the best performing product underfoot no matter what their condition is, whether they're coming off an injury, whether they're playing a really, really challenging game and they feel they need more support or they want to be a little quicker. It allows to be modified, and that's something that's really hard to do, but I think the team really pulled off a great effort and made a beautiful shoe on top of that, including some of the details that are in here. Tinker talked about Jumptown. We kept that in his handwriting, actually, in the very tip of the toe. There kind of is a little story piece there. The beautiful brogue perfing patterns, the very tight stitched corners, and the thin leathers, really all those things come together well, and including the puzzle piece Jumpman that's laid in almost like a wood inlay and then every detail on the booties, all the different layers and seams there. Every single part, every single detail on the shoe has been carefully thought through and crafted by some of the best manufacturers in the world, some of the best suppliers in the world. So for the midsoles and the cushioning, for the quick player, so somebody who's more of a point guard, does a lot of cutting, needs a very lightweight shoe that just gives them just enough protection, but really it's all about accelerating through a turn. We have the fly around midsole with the zoom bag in the heel and Cushlon in the forefoot that really allows it to be a very lightweight midsole and is built for a guy like CP, for a true point guard that slashes to the basket. The second one, being the flyover, would be more for somebody like Dwayne Wade, who really does a lot of stuff on the court, but his key feature being the elevation and jumping off and through larger distances and doing the alley-oops and all the great slams that he's been doing. And so he's protected in the heel with the air unit and then the forefoot with the zoom unit to give him just a little bit more response as he's coming off the jump. And then for somebody who's more of a center, working under the basket, getting beat up, and really doing a lot of true up and down jumping, we have the full-length air. So somebody like Carmelo Anthony, who's doing a pivot and up, and then coming down again and again on his full foot. We have the full-length air unit, and this is also encapsulated in Cushlon. So it's a very much more softer ride, a protected ride, than say something that's more minimal and built for cutting and slashing. And the same pretty much goes for the two booties as well. The low-cut booty, very minimal, non-stretch mesh in the forefoot, very comfortable stretch mesh around the collar to give you the range of motion that you need here. Paneled in a very smart way to just get the most effect out of this very minimal booty. And then on the high top, you have, first of all, the full ankle strap for a good proprioceptive feel around the ankle, but also a lot more foam and breathable foam package. Very high end that protects the foot, so when you do get stepped on and some of the toe jamming that's occurring in those positions, you have a lot more protection in this model. And it's adequately protected and sacrifices a little bit on the lightweight side, but gives you the protection that you need if you're working hard on the basket. And those are sort of the details for the interchangeable parts, and you can literally interchange all three midsoles with all two booties and get 6 different varieties of product under your foot. And then obviously the fun part being that you could take any of our colorways and start playing with color as well, which makes it hugely fun down the road.